Welcome to Patty's Aquatics.
Welcome to Patty's Aquatics. My name is Adam and welcome to the fish room. So today's not a fun video to make at all. I really want to explain the process of what happened, but I pretty much had a disaster in my fish room. It was an unfortunate sequence of events that happened over within a week, and the result of it really cost me some fish. Some fish that I really love, some of my rare fish, and then also another beloved member of the fish room. And it was all because of malfunctions from a piece of equipment, or equipment pieces within my fish tanks. So I want to go over everything step by step and really explain what happened. But to do that, I first need to start with my 20 long here. My rare Matano ricefish, which were the first ones to happen. So let's flip this camera around and I'll explain. So this is my 20 long. Now everything may seem okay just looking at this tank. I do have some of my Matano ricefish in here yet, but I lost probably at least half of them. So to backtrack really what happened. It was probably about 2 weeks ago or so. It was right before Christmas, and I was down here getting presents to bring upstairs to wrap, and I came back down and I started to smell something. It was smelling almost as if something electrical was like smoldering, making that burning smell. It's pretty, you know, it's a smell you just know what it is, but you don't know where it's coming from. So right away I'm down here in my fish room looking over everything I could find, looking at outlets, feeling plugs, looking at every tank, and I don't see anything. I'm going all over my basement basically looking for what it could be. I couldn't find it. Then eventually I came back over here, and then I seen puffs of smoke coming from back here, coming up, not constant, but like, poof, poof. I'm like, oh crap, it's my light. My light is smoking for some reason. So I unplug it. It's not this light, by the way. I unplug it, get it out of the fish room. This light smells heavily of that smoke smell, that's burning electrical. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm glad I caught this before something bad happened. It was a Hygger light. I can put the link above of the video I had. It was actually the first light I ever got from Hygger, so it's about 2 years old. And I emailed Hygger to let them know basically that this light was doing this. I really wasn't happy. I'm glad I caught it before anything major would have happened and potentially started a fire within my house. They asked me, well, they apologized and stuff, which I appreciate, but they asked me if I took a video of it smoking. Like, no. My first concern was to get this light out of my house. And then down the road, that I had an email exchange with them, which I wasn't really too pleased about, but this video isn't about Hygger. To fast forward then, I took the heater out of this tank then too, because I was like, I don't really need it in here. There's supposed to be like a tropical rice fish, but I kept the water temperature at 71 degrees with this heater, which again was a Hygger heater. It was a small little like black and case one I bought years ago. And without the heater in these tanks, the water temperature probably is around like 68 or so. So I figured those 3 degrees really weren't going to make a difference. So I pulled the heater out of there too, just because if you're not aware of my fish room here, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the tanks that need heaters because I just don't like them. So anyway, so I pulled the heater out and everything, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, this tank is fine. Well, fast forward to about a week later. As you know, I'm moving things around in the fish room here, and I set up this tank under here as a temporary like housing tank and quarantine tank. If I was going to use that to put a fish in here, so I wanted to start heating it up until I could rehome it. Well, it wasn't, when I put that heater in there, it wasn't powering on. I'd plugged it in and it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, well, that's strange. Well, I pull the heater out of there and I can smell that burning smell again. I smell that heater and it is strong with that burning smell I smelled from what I thought was the light. And then a few things kind of went off of my brain, and then I did some research, and it seems like it might have been the heater that was malfunctioning to begin with. It wasn't the light. it was gassing off under the water, and that would come up and then hit the surface, and that smoke would come out. And when I thought it was coming up from the light here, it probably actually was coming from there, or a crack in the lid here and shooting up, so making me think it's the light. The light smelled from that smoke coming through here, but in fact, it probably was that heater burning out under the water and creating that gas off effect. Now, how did this kill my fish? You know, I didn't even realize it until a couple days ago when I tried to feed the fish here, and nothing was coming up to eat, which is very strange for this tank. I had probably about 8 adults and probably, 6 to 8 juveniles from different sizes in here, and nothing was eating. Nothing was coming up. It was like, I saw a few of their eyes, or what you usually see of these guys when they hide in the back, and I only see a few eyes, and that's it. And I'm like, this is strange. That's when I started to do some research and find out, well, wait a minute. What could have happened here is the gassing off came up under the glass lid. Yes, some escaped, but then it probably dissolved back into the water column and made this water toxic. It's not something that's going to get filtered out. And what I also noticed too is my shrimp are completely gone. I don't see any shrimp in this tank anymore. Now, I didn't have a huge colony in this tank, but I had probably at least 20 or 30 shrimp in here. I don't see a one. The only thing I see left here are snails. And their population looks like they might have been bolstered a little bit. Well, I wonder why. If half my fish died and all my shrimp died, these things were just scavenging on them and thriving. And it's sad to think that a heater doing that just destroyed these fish and my shrimp. Like I said, at least half of them are gone. They're still not acting the way they should. I did a big 50% water change about 2 days ago once I realized all this. Today's the first day I've seen, I just turned the lights on probably like a half hour ago, but today's the first day where I'm seeing a few of them actually come up. Now, he doesn't look the greatest, but he's out and about in front at least. I seen about 4 of them out here earlier when I just turned the lights on, so it tells me that they're probably going to be okay, the rest of them. But like I said, I lost half that colony I had in here, over half. I think, like I said, I saw about 3 or 4 adults, and I think I saw 1 or 2 juveniles, and that's it. So I lost quite a bit of them, and I'm not very happy about that. Now, whose fault is it? Well, mine. Why did I have a heater in there? You can't trust heaters. That's the unfortunate part. There are no safe heaters. Every heater is going to malfunction at some point in time in their existence, which is unfortunate, which is another reason why I'm trying to get away from them. I know people say it's easier to heat the rooms, which I get, but it's not possible everywhere. I don't have an enclosed room here to be able to do that in my basement. I have my furnace behind me, which blows air down into here, which helps a little bit, which is another reason why I want to get away from heaters and just go with more cooler water species. So, but the disasters really didn't end there. This was a huge hit to me because I really love these fish. Like I said, they're a rare rice fish. They're not cheap either, and I was finally starting to breed them, and now I'm just gonna have to hope I have some male and female left here to be able to repopulate once they start to potentially get healthy here. But like I said, it didn't end there. Now, I was telling you about this tank down here that I was using as a quarantine holding tank. It's this purpose anyway. Well, that I was trying to heat this tank because I have my Oscar Sparkles, who I am rehoming because I'm redoing that tank. And I put a different heater in there since this one, that Hygger one, which burnt out, wasn't working, and I put another older heater in there because, well, I just don't have many heaters left because I'm trying to get away from them. And I put the Oscar in there, everything was heated up and it was fine. And then yesterday I came down here and my Oscar was on its side, dead at the bottom of this tank. Water was ice cold. That heater must have cut off at some point, and the Oscar obviously didn't like the cooler water, and it killed him, unfortunately. And that really, I was going to rehome him, but it makes me angry that another heater malfunction cost me another fish, a cool fish too, nonetheless. I was really working on trying to rehome this fish to find a new home. I was talking to a few people online locally. One guy had a 240-gallon aquarium that was interested in them. So I was going to find him a new home very soon, because I know this was a 29-gallon and people are going to say that's too small of a tank for it to be in. And I completely agree with you, because this was only going to be temporary for like a week or two tops. And yeah, I kind of gutted about this one. My daughter wasn't happy. She was upset about it as well. You know, 2 heater malfunctions within a matter of a week and a half cost me some really cool fish, and it's sad. And that is why I am getting away from heaters. Like I said, there are no trustworthy heaters. You can buy the best heaters on the market. The fact of the matter is, eventually they can fail. It's one piece of equipment I hate out of anything in this hobby because of that fact. Temperature controllers are your best friends when it comes to heaters if you cannot heat your room itself. I have one on my puffer tank that I haven't used for a while, because the heaters I have on that tank actually have a temperature controller attached to it. So going forward, like I said, I'm going to hook that temperature controller up with that heater that's got a temperature controller on my Hygger puffer tank. That's the only tank I really have that has a heater yet, besides my cribs here. And that's a newer heater, but again, that really doesn't make a difference. I'm going to be putting a temperature controller on this one as well if I keep a heater in here. I think I can get away without heaters with the cribs. I've had a few living without heat in another tank for quite a few months now. The question will be, are they going to still breed in here without the heat? I don't know. We'll have to do a little more research before I pull any triggers on that. But like I said, I want to get away from heaters because they're just not reliable. Now, back to Hygger a little bit. I talked to you about an email exchange I had with them. You see, it's easy to, as a creator, Hygger likes to send out products that basically about everybody, and it's cool when you first get into this and start doing videos and a company wants to reach out and send you a free product to review, and it's a cool thing. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and I still got a lot of good products from Hygger, but I got a few duds. And that email exchange, like I said, excuse me, I had with them, I did not like it. They're apologetic, and I appreciate that. But some of the wording in it made it seem like they basically use us customers and consumers as product testing, because they said that light that was malfunctioning, that I thought was malfunctioning, was already not for sale because of quality issues. So then I questioned about other lights, and they said that whenever they get bad feedback from customers, they pull products. Now, they say not only from quality, but also other issues like the color of the product or whatever it may be. But I called them on that a little bit. I'm like, why is it that we're testing these products for you as consumers, especially for things that are electrical, that are used around water? And then it took them a couple days to get back to me before I got more of a corporate response saying that that's not what they do. But it sure sounded like that in the initial email. So moving forward, I believe I'm just not going to work with Hygger anymore. Like I said, this isn't a bash Hygger video. This has just happened to be their products are the ones that malfunctioned on me, that killed my fish this time. I'm only going to work with trustworthy companies going forward, ones that I feel that are hobbyist friendly and ones that are really going to stand behind their products. And that's what I'm going to do going forward. So really, Hygger will not be in my wheelhouse of review videos going forward. But anyway, again, this isn't a bash Hygger video, but I just want to make people aware that, you know, those were the products that failed on me. So it's sad when you lose fish. It definitely is, especially ones that you really like. And yeah, so heaters, just be wary. Lots of people have been in this hobby long enough to know that there are a ticking time bomb, basically. So you want to prevent that by getting either the temperature controllers or find a way to be able to heat your room, or do what I'm doing. I'm trying to get away from as many of these tropical fish that need heaters to begin with. So that's the video. Unfortunately, Sparkles is gone. put a little video package here quickly of him. He was a cool fish. Definitely something I learned from with him was setting up that dirted tank and no filter with him at first, and then the journey going from different areas and different methods with him, and eventually figuring out that if Oscar can live in a planted tank, a dirted tank, no matter how you do it. And then my Matano ricefish here, these have been a cool experiment. Having a rare fish, first rare fish I ever had, and figuring out how to breed them and try to get them to colonize. Well, now it'll be starting over, but in the end, yeah, just be wary of heaters, because I don't know what else to say about it. I know I'm rambling. It's just I'm kind of upset about all this, and it just sucks. But anyway, I hope you learned something from the video about heaters. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I hope to see you again next time here at Patty's Aquatics.
Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time here at Patty's Aquatics.